In 2022, wildlife host Coyote Peterson led a crustacean the size of a cigar punch through a pair of thick rubber boots. It went clean through, like the rubber wasn't even there. Peterson screamed. 5 million people watched. But here's the part nobody talks about. That same punch on your bare hand could shatter the bones in your fingers, and the shrimp wouldn't even feel it. By the end of this video, 3 things are going to permanently change how you see the ocean. 1. Exactly what happens second by second when this animal strikes you. 2. The secret weapon inside its eyes that no other creature on Earth possesses. 3. The discovery scientists published in 2025 that engineers are now racing to copy from military body armor. None of that is an exaggeration. Not one word. Meet the Peacock Mantis shrimp. It weighs 10 grams, roughly the same as 2 paperclips. It is about the length of a hot dog, and it holds the most powerful strike, pound for pound, of any animal that has ever existed on this planet. Not the strongest jaw, not the biggest claws, the fastest, most forceful biological strike ever recorded in the entire history of life on Earth. And right now, most people have never heard of it. That's exactly why you're here. Let's start with the punch, because nothing can prepare you for what the numbers actually mean. When a mantis shrimp strikes, its club accelerates to 50 miles per hour. That's the speed of a car on a neighborhood street. But here's the part that changes everything. It reaches that speed in 0.0008 seconds, less than 1 millisecond. The acceleration is 10,400 meters per second squared. In the terms fighter pilots use, that is 1,060 Gs. A trained military pilot blacks out at 9. This shrimp hits 1,060. That's 117 times more than a human body can survive, coming from a creature the size of your pinky finger. In 2005, researchers at Duke University aimed high-speed cameras at this punch for the first time. Cameras running at 40,000 frames per second. What they captured stunned the entire scientific community. The punch is so fast it rips a vacuum in the water around it. That vacuum collapses instantly into cavitation bubbles. When those bubbles implode, they release a shock wave, and for a fraction of a second, the temperature at the implosion point reaches 4,700 degrees Celsius. That is roughly as hot as the surface of the sun. The mantis shrimp is the only animal on Earth that creates light through movement. That shock wave alone, without the physical club ever making contact, can stun a fish 5 centimeters away. Postdoctoral researcher Dr. Maya DeVries at UC San Diego put it plainly. This is not just a punch. This is a biological firearm. So what does 1,500 newtons of force feel like on a human hand? Your average punch delivers about 100 newtons. A professional heavyweight boxer lands around 3,000. The mantis shrimp from a 10-gram body delivers 1,500, 150 times its own body weight, concentrated on a point smaller than your thumbnail. Your skin tears, the bone fractures. There are roughly 50 reported injuries per year, mostly among divers and fishers in the Philippines and Indonesia, who handle one without knowing what it is. Surgical intervention is documented. Permanent nerve damage is possible. In every single case, the shrimp was fine. Now here's where most people stop the story. Strong punch, cool shrimp, done. But there are 2 things waiting in this video that are genuinely harder to believe than the punch: the exoskeleton and the eyes. Let's do the exoskeleton first, because in 2025 it became front-page science news. The logical question when you hear those numbers is, how does the shrimp not destroy its own arm every single time it punches? A hammer striking concrete breaks. How does a biological structure survive 1,060 Gs hundreds of times without failing? It took researchers decades to figure this out. When they published it in the journal Science in February 2025, the paper went immediately to aerospace engineers and materials scientists, not just biologists. The club is built from helicoidal fiber layers, spiraling fibers arranged in rotating angles like a biological version of the cross-ply structure used in aircraft frames. Each layer distributes the energy of impact sideways instead of letting it crack straight through. The outer surface is one of the hardest biological materials ever measured. Beneath it, impact-absorbing regions act exactly like the crumple zones in a car. Dr. Harrison Espinosa, a professor of mechanical engineering at the University of Maryland, called it a structure built like a bulletproof vest, layered, mineralized, and engineered to absorb massive impact without failing. But even that undersells it. The shrimp throws hundreds of these world record punches in a single day. No crack, no fracture, no failure. Engineers are now actively trying to replicate this structure for military body armor and aerospace shielding. A 10-gram ocean creature figured out what NASA engineers spent decades trying to solve. Now, and this is where the story takes a hard turn, here's the thing about the mantis shrimp that most people have genuinely never heard. Not the punch, not the armor, The eyes. Most people think this animal punches harder than anything on Earth. They're right, but that is not its most extraordinary feature. The mantis shrimp has 16 color receptors in its eyes. Humans have 3, red, green, blue. Butterflies have 5. Birds have 4. The mantis shrimp has 16, including full sensitivity to ultraviolet light completely invisible to us. But that is not even the part that matters most. In 2008, a team at the University of Queensland published a discovery in the journal Nature that changed how biologists think about animal vision entirely. The mantis shrimp is the only known animal on Earth capable of detecting circularly polarized light. Every other animal on this planet, every predator, every competitor it has ever faced, is completely blind to this specific signal, literally cannot see it. The mantis shrimp uses it to communicate with other mantis shrimps through a private optical channel that nothing else alive can intercept or even detect. Vision researcher Dr. Tom Grahn, who worked on the discovery, described it this way. The mantis shrimp doesn't just see more colors than we do. It sees dimensions of visual information that our brains have no framework to process. Think about that. A secret language written in light, and for 300 million years, no predator has ever been able to read it. What hits harder for you, the vision or the punch? Drop it in the comments. Genuinely curious. Here's something that reframes everything you just heard. The mantis shrimp has been on this planet for 300 million years, unchanged. A fossil discovered in Lebanon in 1998, 100 million years old, is virtually identical to the modern peacock mantis shrimp. While dinosaurs rose and collapsed, while the continents drifted, while mammals evolved from small, trembling creatures all the way to humans building cities and filming YouTube videos, this animal's punch stayed perfect. Its eyes stayed perfect. Its armor stayed perfect. Evolution doesn't fix what isn't broken. And in 2017, one punch through 1 centimeter of aquarium glass at Duke University. Not cracked, not scratched, shattered. It hit the exact same spot 12 times, then walked out through the hole. So what actually happens if it punches your hand? The immediate damage, deep lacerations from the physical strike, fractured bones from the compression force, severe bruising from the shockwave, even in tissue the club never directly touched. The cavitation effect damages cells around the impact point, the same way an underwater explosion does. Recovery time for a serious hit, weeks to months. Surgical intervention is documented, and yet this 300-million-year-old survivor, this creature that punches through glass and speaks in invisible light and wears armor that aerospace engineers are still trying to copy, is quietly disappearing. In 1950, there were approximately 200,000 peacock mantis shrimps in the ocean. In 2024, there are 95,000. We have lost half of them in 74 years. Coral reef destruction, from warming oceans, acidification, and coastal development, has eliminated 52% of their historical habitat. Scientists project that if bleaching continues at its current rate, 50,000 more will be gone by 2035. They are dying in silence, in reefs most people will never see, at a rate most people will never notice. Dr. Sheila Patek, the biologist at Duke University who has studied this animal longer than almost anyone alive, said it plainly. No other animal has this combination of power and durability. Nothing else on Earth repeats a world record punch hundreds of times without self-injury. Nothing close. For 300 million years, the mantis shrimp has outlasted everything. Ice ages, mass extinctions, the rise and fall of every dominant species this planet has ever seen. The only thing it might not outlast is us. The ocean is hiding things we have barely started to find, and the next one will break your brain all over again.